All right, guys, welcome back. Boots come in pairs. Check us out on YouTube. We have some Instagrams. We have some Facebook pages. Up to 38 subscribers now. We are coming in hot. No, just cool to see that number kind of trickle up. But we've been definitely seeing some movement on some things. So glad everyone's listening and following and doing all the above. We are getting ready closer-ish to baseball. And one of the biggest improvements, we've been calling for this for a while. We got excited about it a couple years ago when they said it was coming. The ABS strike zone has been, in my opinion, a fantastic success. Like, it works very well, almost too well in some of these cases. We're going to start there tonight. What's your initial thoughts on the ABS system? Is it efficient? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Fantastic. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. It's just we have all this technology, all these different camera angles, computers, and that, like everything to track every little movement that is done in the game for like statistical purposes, but yeah, just anything and everything. Like we have the technology to do it. And this has been one of the most, I would say, one of the most disputed things in all of major sports is just balls and like just getting balls and strikes correct. Or I know it started out with just instant replay and all that stuff, which was good. But like the balls and strikes thing in baseball was just something that was getting out of control, to be honest. And again, the catchers have gotten so good at stealing strikes and all that stuff. But the thing is, it's like it's either a ball or it's a strike, and you shouldn't get penalized for being a good hitter and having a good eye and laying off something that's clearly not in the zone at all and getting rung up on it. So I think it's just going to continue to get better. It's a very quick thing. It's been fairly, obviously very accurate. But guys, you just are really getting to see how well they actually do know the strike zone and know their zone.
Yep.
I feel like it's been a lot more of the hitters who've been winning these battles versus the pitchers. I mean, guys like it so much they're using it in the World Baseball Classic, the prelims, and they're not allowed to use it yet. I think Ronald Acuna tried using it a couple days or maybe yesterday. He tapped the helmet, but they're not using that in the World Baseball Classic. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm glad they tried it out in the minor leagues, and it'll be fun to see how it kind of pans out this year. It'll be fun. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, great point there. I think total advantage hitters. I think this is the first thing we've seen to combat the increase in velocity. Give them a chance. A lot of these guys are really good with the strike zone. Matt Olson challenged a pitch the other day, and it was half an inch outside, and he seemed very convinced. And that might be a guy where you see maybe his batting average increases, 20, 30 points even. If he starts getting some good calls, because a lot of these pitches, it swings an entire count, swings an entire at bat. So if you get these guys in a favorable hitting situation instead of down 0-2 because of a bad call, I think advantage hitters. The only person I've heard publicly speaking out about it has been Walker Buehler for the Padres, I believe now. And he's been bouncing around. The only I could see why pitchers liked it before because they probably got more pitches. But yeah, I think this will kind of swing that pendulum back towards the hitter a little bit. Again, they've done some things with the shift, but I think you're right. When they started with getting the calls on the bases correct, that opened the door to this possibility. And this was kind of the last domino, I think, in sports where it was totally kind of out of the player's hands and completely subjective to an umpire. And really kind of takes them out of the game, which I like. I don't want to hear their names too much.
Right. And again, it's all about doing your job right. And it's strikes are strikes and balls are balls. Like there's not a borderline, like it is or it isn't. And yeah, that's why like for Walker Buehler, it's like, okay, man, what exactly is this not doing for the game? Why is this not good for the game? Like if you are if you are a pitcher and you throw a ball right down the middle and the guy calls it a ball, like, what do you like? You can
Yep.
challenge it and it'll get overturned and it'll go in your way too. So it's like, to me, you just got to continue to throw strikes, even if you nibble the zone. Like, you just got to get a little bit of that strike zone, and there it is. You
Yep.
get the call, and you just
Yep.
got to be confident in what you're doing. Like, yeah, your catcher's not going to be able to steal as many strikes, but they weren't strikes to begin with. They're not going to be anything to be stolen. So
they're
I don't know.
the complaint on the holistic player evaluation would be, you're minimizing the ability of the catcher to receive the ball. However, you're right, they're not strikes anyways. I've read Jason Kendall's book, great catcher, but he talked about, Joe West was very easily manipulated if you let him drive his car around. I think gone are the days where, again, you have Joe West behind the plate and you're stealing, a strike 2 inches outside the zone because you let him drive your car around for the weekend, like Billy Wagner. And those are the things we really had to get rid of. I was tired of seeing, Angel Hernandez. And honestly, I don't want to know these umpires' names. I don't want to see them constantly get recognized.
Who's the other guy who just retired?
Oh, yeah. Not Jim Joyce. It was, I know what you're talking about.
Another old head who was terrible.
But they had to go, and there's been a couple sequences this spring where, and it was the Red Sox game where there was like 5 consecutive, it wasn't pitches, but 5 consecutive challenges that were ruled in favor of the players over the umpires. And this is going to cause a lot of tension because there's going to be a lot of, you're challenging my authority, but they can now. They can actually do that, and there's not going to be
better at your job.
Yeah, there's going to be less ejections. Mo Baller yesterday had 3 in 1 inning that he got called for his pitcher, but because he can see the zone. So that's another question: is do you think as we move to the regular season, there's going to be restrictions on which players can use it, which pitchers or which catchers can use it? I think we're going to see a little more tact as we go into the regular season, as opposed to the, spring training where they're kind of just feeling out the system.
Right. I don't know. I think you should really, obviously, like, pitchers and catchers and hitters, like, that's going to be the main 3.
Those are the only 3.
The only 3. But are you saying, do you think?
So I saw Luis Heel, and again, I know it's spring training, but Luis Heel burned through both the Yankees' incorrect challenges in the first inning and the first couple pitches, and he was off by 7 or 8 inches. He got them both wrong. He thought they were strikes. So I'm saying, do you? My opinion is, if you're pitching, you let your catcher determine if you challenge.
I would agree with that.
And then there's certain hitters where I trust their judgment. Matt Olson, Chris Bryant used to have a really good feel. We're not going to see Chris Bryant this year, but there's certain guys where I feel like they have a much better sense of the zone and aren't too irrational with it. But you only get 2 incorrect challenges, and once you're out, you're out. So I think you have to be selective with who's allowed. Juan Soto would be another guy. Anytime Juan Soto wants to challenge, you let him do that because he's got a really good sense of the zone.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Some people you're going to give the green light to, and then other people's, when it comes to the pitcher, the battery, I would default to the catcher for sure.
Yeah, I just think it's hard because a guy you get Max Scherzer on the mound and he's emotional. I don't necessarily trust his judgment from 60 feet away on up, down, left, right. Over the heart of the plate. But there's been a couple this spring too where it was called a ball, and it was in the zone by 2+ inches and right down the middle, and it's But these umpires are also going to adjust too. I think that's what'll be the good part is everyone will get better as a result.
Right. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. And also, I've also heard do they need more challenges? What if it's the World Series and blah blah? Mm-hmm. Well, the best umpires are behind the plate for the World Series. We saw it a couple years ago. Yes. I don't remember the guy's name and you shouldn't, because he was really good, and he had a 98% correct call rate. That's what you want.
We said his name on the show. I just don't remember.
We did.
What it was.
I have to go, but I haven't heard his name since because good umpires, you don't know their names. That's just the point.
That's true.
But
That is true. That is definitely a position you want to be invisible. You just want everything to go right and no one
yeah,
to complain. You can't please everybody, obviously, but that is when you want to be neither seen nor heard
yeah,
in a extended role.
yeah. And it will be interesting because JD's infamous saying for the Cubs broadcast is, egregious. There's a shirt with obvious shirts that just says it has a strike zone. The ball's like 3 balls outside, and it just says egregious. So I think we will see less of that. Seiya Suzuki is another guy who seems like we'll see with how it plays out, but he seems to have a negative strike zone called against him. So we'll see if that levels
he,
that out.
it's interesting you bring him up. He had, and I saw this graphic. I'll have to find it again. He had the most strikes called out of the strike zone in Major League Baseball. He was screwed essentially more than anybody else, like not swinging at balls that were called strikes. He was number one. I need to. I'll find that graphic and I'll share it with you later. But
And
yeah, it was very like we always thought he was correct, and it's like all
yeah,
right, well he went down looking again, but it's like it's not a strike. And
yeah,
then for them to have like empirical data to show that he is getting screwed more than anybody, like
yeah.
that will hopefully help him out.
And it will help hitters that don't feel like they have to expand their zone.
Right.
When they know it's like, hey, if I know that's out, I cannot swing at it, I'll be okay. But a lot of times you get guys when they're in an unfavorable count, they've already had a bad ball called against them, they expand their zone, and then they have a really bad strikeout, or they're just over exerting because they can't get to that ball anyways. So I think
Right.
this fixes that. And I think eventually you see maybe 3 or 4 incorrect challenges. Make it so like the mound visit where like I never see a team get close to the mound visit number. It's irrelevant now. It's just more of a like, hey, you can't go out there every 3 minutes and stop the
Right.
game. But same with the challenges. I don't really want to even think. It's not like football. Football, those take forever, and they need to be strategic. This seems like a very you could almost have unlimited ball and strike challenges, and I'd be okay with that. But you have to have a cap. But I don't think there's a. I think like 4 incorrect would be a good number because then you're not too worried about it, but also you
Right.
have them when you need them.
Right.
But and it still forces the right guys to take them, and then umpires also call a better strike zone. So that's
Yeah.
what we want.
I
We
mean,
want everyone to go.
again, man, I'm a huge fan of it, and like even as a player, like obviously I never made it to that level, but
Yeah,
I felt like I always had a very good grasp of the strike zone. I knew
yeah,
the zone. I used to walk a lot. I very low strikeout numbers everywhere else but high school. Like
yeah,
especially my junior and senior year, like I struck out so many times and they were all looking and they were balls that were not even close. We know how bad high school umpiring can be. And I remember having this battle against a Stevenson Division One pitcher. I was fouling pitches off. It was like a 10 pitch at bat, and I get rung up on a pitch at my chin. Like it sucks. It
yeah,
sucks to know the zone and to have some moron behind the plate who has no idea what they're just ringing up whatever they want whenever they feel like it.
yeah.
So
Well,
glad that these umpires are getting held accountable.
yeah.
It's time.
Unfortunately, that's not going anywhere. So all of you little league
No, no.
coaches and managers and parents, that's not going away. Sorry,
Right.
but it's
If
similar
you make it to
to
the next level, the highest level, then it
yeah.
will go away.
Just know that if you ever get there, the grass will be
Yeah.
smooth and you'll have robot umpires and all these things.
Yes.
But even like, so 2016 was the first year they rolled out the, you can overrule, a call on the bases. And I'm not saying the Cubs are winning the World Series this year, but that for me was one of those things that eliminated. I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to get screwed on the base pass this year, so maybe we got a shot. And how many times did Javi have that swim move slide?
Mhm.
He's calling over to challenge it. I think this just makes it that much more level.
Right.
And like I said, I love this for the hitters. Great success, and I'm excited for what this looks like. And again, just take the umpires out of the game. If
Yep.
we had this last year, Nico doesn't get ejected last year in a game for, a
Right.
bad call. It just
Right.
it eliminates that animosity, and if things are bad from the onset, you can get it corrected. So
Right. For sure.
do not hate it. Um, we are in a World Baseball Classic year that is kicking off. It kicked off yesterday. Some of the international games. I think the U.S.'s first game is tomorrow.
Yep. March
Um,
6th.
so we are coming off the high of the Olympic men's and women's, I guess, hockey teams. A lot of country pride with the Olympics winning the gold medal. Where do you think the World Baseball Classic stacks with that? Do you think there's any residual carryover, representing in a tournament like this?
I think you're gonna have more eyes earlier in the year than you usually would, but I don't think it compares to the Olympics. The Olympics are a little bit different. There's a lot more at stake. Yeah, I mean, I think for baseball fans, like it's still going to get really good viewership. Baseball, not just in this country, but in other countries, has a very large following, like in Japan and the Dominican, like a lot of these nations that are part of this, like there are baseball fanatics. And getting to play high level games this early in the year is exciting. Yeah, not quite on the Olympic level, but it'll be very, very fun. I was just looking over the rosters for a lot of the teams, just a lot of really good players, really
Yeah.
good talent. Even the coaching staffs are stacked. Like just seeing who's managing and some of these bench coaches, hitting coaches, it's like, oh my gosh, like what a blast it will be. And yeah, I'm excited to watch some very competitive baseball this in March. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. I agree with because one thing is, does it matter? Does the World Baseball Classic matter? I like it as a baseball fan. I like it from a U.S. competitive standpoint. I don't think it matters enough to them like it does in Japan.
Right.
And I know the U.S. has won before, but it's you're gonna have a good lineup out there. You're gonna have the probably one of the best top. I mean, they have 29 major league players. Every player on the U.S. roster is a major league baseball player. The pitching's the problem.
Yeah.
And when you have Tarek Skubal's going to pitch 5 innings only versus Great Britain, and then he's going to go back to Tigers camp, that's a problem. And when you have Japan, who's got 3+ aces, and they're all going full out, and the Dodgers have actually said that they're concerned about how full out they're going to pitch.
Yeah.
They're concerned about Yamamoto, Sasaki, and Otani just going because they care. This matters so much.
They want to win.
The U.S. could slug their way to a win, but
Right.
I am going to say the U.S. will not win this tournament, even with all the major league talent they have, because pitching is going to be a problem.
Right.
And the country pride doesn't outweigh the fact that these guys are getting $40-50 million to pitch for a major league club when these games are essentially exhibition games. Early in the year.
Right. And I mean, I'm a little bit. I understand where Scoobs is coming from for sure. I mean, he's in a contract year. This is a very big year for him. You want to save your bullets for the season and all that stuff. You want to make sure you're healthy. But like, I feel like where Scooble is kind of like bowing out early, I don't think you're going to get that from Paul Skeens. I think Paul's going to be amped. Paul's very, very not. Scooble's not. But Paul is.
This is Paul Skeens' World Series of the year.
Paul Skeens is like very patriotic. He's very for the country. Like he's an Air Force guy. Like Paul will give everything he has. I mean, Logan Webb's going to give you some innings. Like they're not as strong in the starting rotation, but they got enough guys to get them through a game. But like the lineup though, I mean, that like you have. Your outfield is going to be Aaron Judge, PCA, and Roman Anthony. Holy smokes, man! No, like that's great. Bobby Witt and the catching situation. You got Cal and Will Smith, Kyle Schwarber. Like the U.S. roster is stacked. Like they are a fun Alex
Yeah,
Bregman, like solid roster.
top to bottom, they are immensely more talented. However, again, the only other competition I really see is Team Japan, maybe the DR, but like
Yeah,
Team Japan is a team. This is their
yeah,
team, and they play like a team better. Just because again, it's that whole miracle on ice thing. Like you can have the Soviets, but then the team that plays like a team is gonna win the thing. The I know, yeah, Skeens might give you his best, but also they're not. It's March. It's
hmm
beginning of March. Like you're not getting their best because they're not ready to go. And I think if School gave you 5 innings, that'd be a lot for him at this stage. Because usually
right.
this stage of spring training, they're pitching maybe 3-4 innings, right? So I don't know. It just the pitching to me is the question mark because I don't think you can get enough out of the guys, and you can't expect them to. And I don't expect them to be sharp either. I don't
Right.
expect them to have their best stuff this early in spring. And to the original point is, I don't think it even matters really. It might matter because like yes, they want to go out there and they want to win for their country, but like it doesn't really matter. And actually, I feel like the guys on some of these other teams, like Team Italy or Team Israel, are like they're using a lot of minor league guys. This
hmm
is their time to shine.
Right.
Just like a lot of these guys from Japan, how many of them have we seen come over to the States? I mean, Seiya Suzuki was a star in the World Baseball Classic, and then he gets a
Right.
contract. Otani was a star. Like a lot of these guys star in this from Japan, and then it's like Murakami Kami was the last one. He didn't have a
Right.
great start of the tournament, but then played well in the final couple of games. So like, this is their launching pad into a career in Major League Baseball, this
Yeah.
side of the states. So
Right.
there's a lot more riding for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and like you were saying, so there like some minor league guys as well. Like I
Mm.
know like the Netherlands roster, like Andrew Jones is the manager and his son Drew is on the roster as an outfielder. And Drew is still very young in the minor leagues, so it'll be interesting to see him. But yeah, it'll just be cool to see. I think it will still be a wildly successful, fun tournament to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think teams like Japan are definitely more geared towards winning a tournament like this,
Yep.
just because of the way that they're built.
Two fun names playing in this, though. I forgot which country he's playing for, but former Met Ruben Tejada
Oh,
is in this,
yeah,
and
I saw Junior Lake for the DR.
is he on the Dominican roster?
Junior Lake is on the Dominican Republic
Okay,
roster.
okay.
Crazy.
And then out of Cuba, the starting shortstop for Cuba is Alexei Ramirez.
Really?
at
That's
40
fun.
at 42 years old. So it's
Good for
always
him.
interesting to see
That's awesome.
kind of who resurfaces. I remember the first World Baseball Classic, like Randall Simon resurfaced for the Netherlands, and it's like,
Yep.
in 2006. But like, so it's always fun to see who's kind of still hanging around, who's playing winter ball in some of these
Right.
places. And also, there's a funny clip of I don't know how these two guys got this close in the batting order where they'd both be on the bases behind each other at the same time. But there's a video showing it was Alejandro Kirk rounding third, and then here comes Rowdy Tellez. So they must have been on like second and third, and
Right.
like they both scored on the same play. But they're like, this is like a training video on how to be overweight and still play baseball. It was
Yeah.
very funny. So that's a fun team to watch. I don't know, Mexico, but
Mexico. Yeah.
they put on a good run last year. So or
Yeah.
last
They have. I
2023.
mean, they're like they have Jaron Duran and as well. They have Mexico's got a nice team. Venezuela's got a pretty nice team as well.
Yeah,
They got some players. Yeah, there's a lot of
yeah,
cool rosters. I'm excited. Puerto Rico also has a nice roster.
yeah,
I feel like that's what you get from these
yep,
teams, though. I mean, there's just a lot of guys who are proud and they want to play and they want to play competitive baseball early.
yep, yep. And Alex Bregman looks really good right now. Oh my gosh,
Yes, sir.
when you get a guy like Kyle Tucker last year, and it's this professional hitter and whatever. Um, Alex Bregman is what they've been missing
Yeah,
at third base. We've been calling it for a long time, but he just loves to hit, and his swing looks like midseason form right now.
Hmm.
I'm expecting him to do a lot of damage in that Cubs lineup, but also again that third base spot has been such a weak point for them the past 5 years since they got rid of Chris Bryant. So it's just fun to see him in that. We have two Cubs in that lineup. Probably should be three with Nico, but that's okay. But it's cool to see some Cubs in there and Alex Bregman kind of being in the middle of that and doing some damage on his own side for Team USA.
Who's playing second for us?
For USA,
Yeah,
Bryce Terang.
he's good.
He's good.
Nico's better. Nico's
Nico
better.
better. I defensively, offensively, I would just hitting wise because you have enough thump in that lineup. If you put a contact guy like Nico in there, I just you don't.
He just got overlooked a lot, which is unfortunate. But just more fire. Hopefully, one thing for the Cubs, I just wish they had one more bat, one more bat. I wish the bat was Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
Then I could, if the Cubs had Kyle Schwarber, I could stomach Seiya being in right.
Yeah. Well, so there's three outfielders. I guess we'll see. Yeah, let's switch to the Cubs for a minute. There's three outfielders in camp right now.
Conforto,
Dylan Carlson, and Chas McCormick. And because I'm sitting here, I'm like, who's the DH? One Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah.
Do either of those three names emerge for you as a potential right field option, and then throw Seiya at DH? Because I don't like Seiya in the outfield.
Right. Michael Conforto, when he's healthy and right, is an excellent player. But we have not gotten much of that, especially in the last 5 years. Yeah. But when he is on and healthy and right, that is like a no-brainer. Carlson is an exceptional athlete. He's always hurt. McCormick is also nice. He doesn't really strike fear, but he's a good outfielder and he's serviceable. But like Carlson and Conforto, like I could get excited about those two guys, but it's just they can't stay healthy and they can't stay right. Like it's just.
And you probably will see, I think, at least April and May, you're going to see some iteration of those three filling in right field. Because you also need a DH, and I don't really see a DH on this roster other than, say, Suzuki. But if he's going to play any right field, you have to slot somebody in there. So you're right. They are a bat away, but also, and I think they're not, again, lockout, barring whatever, their unwillingness to extend both Happ and Suzuki speaks volumes to
I like that.
What they're looking at for the future where, hey, we're going to ride this year out with them. And then we will assess after that. But I think we could see a big shakeup in the outfield in the next 2 to 3 years. But the beginning of this season is going to start with what's on the roster right now, which is going to be one of those three guys probably playing some meaningful innings in April and May before you can assess where you're at and then make a move, and then other teams are sellers and whatever.
Right, and also like the Jaguar too, Kevin Alcantara. Like he's another guy who may steal some at bats. Like we'll see if he's ready. If he has a hot spring, they'll have no choice but to keep him or to move him up. I mean,
well, I guess the fourth option is Mo Baller.
And Mo,
if he can hit, he's maybe your DH. I don't know if he can hit Major League pitching. Last year was kind of, I don't know, mixed results. I know he hit for an okay average, but the power wasn't really there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's your de facto DH day one. And again, April, May, you figure that out. But I think
just remember with him, he is very young. Like he's 21 years old.
Right.
But and I don't really think he's not really known for his power. Like he's more of like a doubles guy.
Okay.
He's not really a 30-40 homer guy. He's capable, but like he's more of like a doubles guy.
The problem is though, it's DH. And you're in there for your bat. You're not in there for your glove. He they said he can't catch, but he seems like he might be able to catch. I
Catch a
don't
little
know.
bit.
I'm not ruling him out. Look at Alejandro Kirk again. I'll bring his name up again. He's not the most athletic person I've ever seen, but he's a good
No.
catcher. He blocks. He calls good game. He blocks good balls. So I'm not ruling anybody out based on body type. But if he's not a slug power hitter, DH is tough for me. If you're not bringing anything else to the field, like Suzuki. Right. He hit 30 plus homers last year. He had a lot of RBIs. I know he kind of tapered off, but he had a DH worthy year last year.
He did.
Mo Baller, I don't know, right? So there's a lot to think about, but I think you do see a mix of those three outfielders plus Mo Baller plus say a Suzuki. Hopefully playing as little right field as possible, but again, if you need to get these bats in the lineup, I don't know if you play lefty righty platoon. Who knows? But I think the hottest bat coming out of spring probably gets the first look in terms of those three that we were talking about with Seiya in the mix, playing some outfield too, right?
I think it'll be Conforto. That's my thought. I was pretty intrigued by that move, but again, Carlson and McCormick are both very solid.
And
for sure.
You know how I feel about it. You also could have an open slot in left field if Ian Happ just doesn't hit right away.
Right.
I'm not wishing anything, but if he starts slow and someone else is swinging a better bat, again, if it's Alcantara, if it's whoever, you have a lot of viable options in the outfield. So there's, in my eyes, there's more than one position open potentially based on actual statistics, but it's going to be April and May before they decide to do anything.
Right. For sure.
One other thing, actually, I just saw this before we started, and I'll get kind of your thoughts on what you think of him as a player. The Yankees and Anthony Volpe has always been an interesting conversation. So it's a picture, and it's Anthony Volpe. His salary is $3.475 million. And then it says, can't throw, bad at hitting, makes people mad. And then it's a chicken tender pub sub for $8.39. And it says, can't throw, bad at hitting, makes people happy. So they're comparing Anthony Volpe to a chicken tender pub sub. But he's an interesting player, similar to, again, Ian Happ is underachieving in my eyes, but like Volpe's one of those guys. I don't think he's that bad. He's not great, but he's also not Derek Jeter.
He's not.
And anyone who plays shortstop for the Yankees,
it's going to be compared to Derek Jeter.
To be compared to Derek Jeter. How do you feel? Again, I thought it was a funny picture. How do you feel about Anthony Volpe in general?
Yeah, he doesn't really move the needle for me. He never really has. He's kind of like a every other year type of player. They had really high hopes for him. I think he was a pretty high draft pick. He was the guy. He shot through the minor leagues, was supposed to be able to do it all. I think his first year he had 20-something errors at short. And then the next year he won a Gold Glove. And then he bounced right back to the bat again. I don't know. I think they should find some Latin kid who's 16 now and put their eggs in that basket. I think they should move on.
Yeah, it's just interesting because usually the Yankees don't give this much leash to a player.
No.
Is what I would like, or at least move him over. You're not that financially invested in him. I'm surprised they haven't gone out and replaced him with something greater, better. There's been a ton of shortstops available the last 5 seasons, so it just seems like they're. Yeah, just wishing for that next Derek Jeter, and he definitely is not the guy. And I don't know if he ever will be. I think he just is who he is, and they almost won the World Series with him, but you didn't, and now you're further away because your division just got a lot harder. So, between the two, I guess I would also take the chicken tender pub sub because that might make me more happy too. Yeah.
I have not had the pleasure of trying a chicken tender pub sub, but the next time I am in Florida, I'm gonna give it a try. I've had regular pub subs several times, and They're very, very good.
I like chicken tenders. I like sandwiches. I'm sure it's good. It looks good.
Yeah.
But
You got to get it tossed in the buffalo sauce.
I would see that.
And then get it chopped up.
That's not the what the picture looks like, but that's fine with me.
It's on the secret menu.
Nope. Yeah. All right. Well, any other thoughts going into the World Baseball Classic start of the season? We have a fantasy draft coming in a couple weeks, so excited for that.
I would say very excited to see that Justin Steele cleared.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
No restrictions.
I've been following his rehab journey and just how hard he's working. He's been doing interviews with people, going on podcasts. I think he has his own podcast as well. Awesome guy. Very happy that he's back. Fierce competitor. Going to be a force in this rotation, and I'm just again very excited for him to be back and to his hard work to have paid off. And then he's gonna start the season with the team. Super cool. That only helps the team even more, especially with the not sure what you're going to get out of Shota, and even like Matt Boyd, we're not sure what we're going to get out of him, and Colin Ray. Like they're 6 to 7 deep in the starting rotation based on guys who can go, but we're likely to see regression from some people, and I'm just hoping that we get a strong Justin Steele ace type pitcher back this year because the Cubs really need it.
Yeah, he's such a likable guy. He goes out there and gives you all he's got, and that's all you can really ask from a player. I do like the approach of like, hey, yeah, I'm rehabbing and my arm's sitting up here, but I can talk, my mouth still works, and like he did a lot. He really embraced the fact that he essentially had an entire calendar year where he has to just sit there and do nothing, but he seemed engaged. He seemed into it. The rehab process is grueling, but a lot of times players get hurt like that and you don't hear from them for 8-9 months because they're often wherever doing whatever they need to do. But it was nice to hear from him. He's been very candid about the rehab process. He's been very candid about, like, especially when the doctors cleared him, he goes, I have 0 restrictions today. I can just go throw. And then they show his bullpen and he's throwing. So they said May return. I think you see him in April. If he's ready to go, I think you throw him. Like, right? Like, what's the build up for? Maybe you got to work up his pitch count, but if he's ready, what are you waiting for? So
send it.
Yeah.
Send it.
Yep. And I agree. Like, you can't look at the year that Boyd had last year and expect him to repeat that. I think we've seen the best. And we said this a couple of years ago. I think we saw the best stretch we're ever going to see out of Shota Imanaga.
Yeah.
And that's just because he's 32 now, right? Like, when we got him, it's like he's in his prime. Like, this might be the best, and I think we may have seen it. And not that he's a bad pitcher, but I think he's just the league has adjusted, and he's got to adjust back. But also, the stretch run he was on was great. That's why they made T-shirts. That's why we like him as a pitcher. But yeah, they're gonna need 6, maybe 7. Jackson Wiggins he responded yesterday with a good outing. So bad outing first, good outing here. You're gonna need them all. You're gonna need every single guy. AAA, if you're ready to go. I think we finally moved on from Jordan Wicks. So
good.
But every arm available, and if not, adding more at a deadline or midseason. So,
yes.
Edward Cabrera looks good. So
yeah.
But again, you can never have too much pitching.
Correct. Yep. Whether it's starting pitching or relief pitching, still looking to add a few arms there too, which they'll probably do if they're in any position around the midway mark.
Yeah. You just have to. Well, I did see, because Tyson Miller was the guy that they released last year after having a good 2024, and then he got blasted by he's on the White Sox now, and the Cubs roughed him up a little bit. So again, the names change every year. We'll see who emerges. But yeah, it's good to see Justin Steele on the mound, pitching well. Looks like he has his velocity back. Maybe it'll be up a tick. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Put it in the gas for a year, it goes up a little bit.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, watch the World Baseball Classic. We'll probably watch the whole thing before we talk again, but because it goes pretty quick, it's about a week long.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we'll be watching those games. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, the U.S. just can pitch and hit their way through it. But I'm skeptical because I don't know if they're gonna be able to be as committed. But that lineup is formidable, so we'll see what they do. But until next time, Boots Come in Pairs. Thanks for listening. Take it easy.
Peace.